Joining me now, Bianco Research President Jim Bianco. You like that clip, huh, Jim? So, Jim, I mean, listen, this is more than kabuki theater. This is amazing. Your thoughts on how it's playing out so far?
You know, it's really been difficult to try and figure out because it seems like President Trump bashes Powell every day. He wants lower interest rates every day. Seems like now he's trying to find a reason to get rid of him right now. I don't really know how this is going to play out. I guess the real question is, does President Trump really want to get rid of Jay Powell in the worst way? And if he did, let's say he fired him this afternoon, would that mean that we would actually get lower interest rates in the immediate future when Philip Jefferson takes over? I assume he would because he's the vice chairman. Or would that not really change anything? That's what makes this so difficult. So
over the weekend, the Federal Reserve added to their frequently asked questions on that page. They went ahead and they put a whole bunch of stuff on about the renovations. Now, there was a lot on there to consume. What caught my eye, though, was essentially an admission that they don't have a boss. They talked about oversight, and they said, well, you've got the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate and the Senate Banking and Housing and Urban Affairs Committee, the House Financial Services Committee. We frequently answer questions about our own actions and positions. Talked about Humphrey Hawks's testimony, but it kind of reminded me of being a kid in school and being called to the principal's office, but the principal having no power to expel you. I mean, essentially, that's what this Fed is. There's no real true accountability there, and that frustrates a lot of people, not just President Trump.
Oh, absolutely, and it does. I mean, it's the way that they've been handling this situation, and whether or not there's private terraces or beehives. There's going to be beehives at the Fed. Is going to be tried. We have to figure out what's going on, but I do think that this does bring up an issue, that the way that the Fed has handled this whole renovation of the building, it's not been good. And it has opened up Jay Powell to this broadside attack. And it's not going to go away just because they put out an FAQ over the weekend with some pictures of some leaky pipes.
Yeah,
is what they did.
And I really, to your point, I think it backfired too. Like, because they admit it. Costs are up, but this is why. The original plan, blah, yada yada yada. I mean, the numbers themselves are so big, though. We're talking maybe hundreds of millions of dollars off, and that the general public's not going to like that. But where do you think Fed policy should be? Are you comfortable with where we are right now with respect to rates?
Yeah, I mean, I've had this view that, interest rates are a complicated vehicle. Down is not necessarily better. If you actually look at all the countries that have very low interest rates, they're all in trouble. That's why they have lower interest rates. And up is not necessarily good. But if you were to cut through it all, I think they're about where they should be, around 4 to 5%. That is a normal place for them to be. And I wouldn't be that exercised about interest rates at current levels. And I worry that if we were to shove them down to 1% and it wasn't necessary, it would create what the Austrians call malinvestment. We would just have too much money chasing everything. It would create inflation. It would create bad ideas getting funded, and then we'd have to pay the price on that. So interest rates need to find their fair value, and I think they're pretty much there right now.
What about the overall market? We're pausing a little bit. We've had this dramatic V-shaped pop that very few experts thought could happen. Where are you seeing this market now with this pause, and for the second half, where would the opportunities be?
I think it is paused right now. I don't think it's going to go much higher. I think what we learned, especially today, is over the weekend we got another round of tariff letters pushing EU, Mexico, Canada, to 30-35%. And the market doesn't seem to react like it did in early April. So it's starting to realize that these tariffs are either not as big a deal as everybody thought they were, or somehow it's kind of playing some kind of 3D chess where it's thinking that there will be a deal somewhere down the line that it's going to reduce these numbers. I just don't think that they're as big a deal as they are. The market's fully valued right now.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it has to go down. I just think it's going to be very difficult for it to move forward. It's up 6% for the year. Might go up a couple of percent more maybe, but I wouldn't be looking for some kind of monster blowout like we've had in 2023 or 2024 when it went up more than 20%.
Yeah, 3 in a row like that are difficult. I'm not sure if it's ever been done. Jim, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Now, my next guest has